They are gathering pregnant children in San Benito, Texas, at a facility ran by Urban Strategies, a private contractor who has been taking care of children for decades. But now there's been straight directives from the Department of Human Resources, from the federal government to, and I quote, all pregnant detainees are to be sent to the San Benito Project, is what they called it. Pregnant children, pregnant girls, all of them they're being sent to fucking Texas, to a facility that is not equipped to deal with pregnant women, let alone pregnant children, because that's what these are. These are pregnant children. And a lot of them were in ICE custody and then got pregnant, and they were shipped to this facility. And any ones that are pregnant are getting sent to this facility where there's inadequate care and no abortion rights, no like anti-abortion laws. It's literally it's what they tried to do this shit in 2017, and they failed. And now they're just doing it casually. They're just like, nope, send them all to this one spot where they have to have, where these underage children, there's no such thing as underage children. They keep calling them underage women. If you look this up, they'll call them underage women. They're fucking children, dude. They're girls. They're children. And they're forcing them to go to this facility in Texas where they're not getting any prenatal treatment. They're not getting like basic medical care. They're being malnourished. They have no access to like civil rights, constitutional rights, human rights. Like no. It's disgusting. They're like forcing children to have babies with like no fucking, like it's the most. Anybody who wants to say I was fucking dramatic for saying they're fucking taking children to a fucking island in Texas. Hey, look at that river. There's a peninsula on that fucking island. There's a peninsula on that fucking river. And if they cut that off, they build their little pop-up detention center on that peninsula and then cut that off from the mainland. That's essentially an island where they're putting at risk pregnant children, kids. Okay? Like, when are we gonna...
Underage girls keep testing positive for pregnancy at ICE detention centers. I don't know why I said underage girls. What I meant to say was children. There are children as young as like 12 and 13 who are testing positive for pregnancy while being kept at an ICE detention center. They're discussing in the news like how they're trying to build some new kind of system to keep them away from the guard. What? But go about your day. Still got to pay rent. You gotta catch Survivor. Can't miss that. It's the season 50. Isn't that great? ICE detention centers, children testing positive for pregnancy. I wonder what the challenge they'll do this week. ICE detention centers, children testing positive for being pregnant. America.
ICE is holding all pregnant minors in a single Texas facility. Children as young as 13 are being held there, and here's what makes this even more disturbing. At least half of them are pregnant as a result of rape, and they're being held in a state under a total abortion ban with no exceptions. In the past, pregnant minors were placed in foster care or shelters equipped to handle high-risk pregnancies. That changed when the Trump administration ordered all pregnant children be placed into the San Benito program moving forward, despite internal findings that the facility isn't equipped to care for them. Now, experts are sounding the alarm. The Center for Reproductive Rights released a statement saying it's not a coincidence that the Trump administration is sending young pregnant girls to be detained in a state where abortion is banned. Here are my sources if you want more information.
There are concentration camps in Texas where they are separating the teen girls from everyone else. They're buying incinerators. A lot of the teen girls are pregnant. Texas doesn't allow abortion for any reason, not for life of the mother, not for incest, not for rape, not for anything. You do the fucking math.
There will be a time, and it may not be too far in the future, when people look back and they wonder how in the United States this has been allowed to happen, that this is happening, that the United States military did this. Through the Navy, the Department of Homeland Security is purchasing a lot of incinerators for human remains, and they will be constructed at detention centers across this nation. I'm serious. This is happening. I'm including a link. Watch the link.
ICE is buying incinerators, and now we have proof. A Navy contract was just released showing the Navy is managing the construction of a massive network of immigration detention centers across the nation. And what's included in the contract is extremely disturbing. It describes tent cities that can hold 10,000 people each, with a specific provision for biohazard incinerators under the medical and death section. That means they are specifically planning for death and choosing to burn the evidence right there on site. The reason DHS is paying the Navy $55 billion for this is so they can get this nationwide network of giant detention centers with infrastructure for handling death built as quickly as possible. And they tried to do it quietly by updating the Navy's existing contract to make this deal instead of creating a new contract specifically for this. Here are my sources if you want more information.
Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I would like to give all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakaha, Kodash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return, and double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. And as you saw right there in the video, there is a lot of wicked activities that are going on in the earth right now. Okay, the devil, which will be the biblical Edomites, in which the biblical Edomites is the self-proclaimed white man. He's doing his nasty work. He's doing his dirt. He's doing his wickedness because it is in the power of his hands. As a matter of fact, let's go to Micah real quick. Micah chapter 2 verse 1. Woe to those. This is Micah 2 verse 1 in the NIV, the New International Version. Woe to those that plan iniquity, to those that plot evil on their beds. At morning's light, they carry it out because it is in their power to do it. So you see that the attitude of these Edomites is, who's going to punish me for my wrongdoings? Who's gonna be that vigilante that's gonna carry out vengeance upon me for my evil acts? And that's why when you go to Obadiah, let's go to Obadiah chapter 1 verse 3 and listen to what it says here. Give it a second here. Okay, Obadiah chapter 1 verse 3. You know what? And I can also get it here. It's no biggie. Okay. Obadiah chapter 1 verse 3. And okay, now it wants to get it in the Blue Letter Bible. Okay. Obadiah chapter 1 verse 3. The pride of your heart, which the word heart goes into the Hebrew word lav, which means your mind. Okay. The pride of your mind, your heart, your mind has deceived you, you who live in the clefts of the rock. Because these devils, they come out of the caves, okay? They lived in the caves going back in the ancient world, namely Mount Petra. Okay, and all you got to do is Google Mount Petra. And when you look at the United States and Mount Petra, you see a lot of similarities. Okay, you see a lot of similarities. Okay, so the pride of your heart has deceived you, you know, especially when it comes to Mount Petra in America. You know, I mean, the stone pillars alone should tell you, you know, who's ruling the earth. The pride of your heart has deceived you, you who live in the clefts of the rocks, and make your home on the heights. You who say to yourself, who can bring me down to the ground? You see that? And they say within themselves, you know, who's gonna they say within themselves, who's gonna stop them, you know? Ooga ooga booga booga. Boo-boo. Stop this one. This is their attitude, you know? And they really believe that they're gonna be in rulership forever, right? Obadiah 1 and 3. The pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that save in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? So Esau don't believe that he's ever going to be punished for the crimes that he have committed. But I'm here to tell you that the one that's going to bring you down to the ground, the one that's going to break the hammer of the earth is going to be Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Because like it tells you in the book of Job, I believe the 30th chapter, when he is about to fill his belly, the Lord is going to not only send his son back to deal with these goddamn Edomites in power, but he's also going to but he's also going to put the spirit on these other nations to shoot their ICBM missiles on the United States of America and the land of Israel, in which those ICBM missiles can carry hundreds of nuclear warheads. So, you know, verse 4, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. Okay. Okay. So this is the book of Psalms right here. Okay, the book of Psalms. Let's just zoom in on this a little bit more. The book of Psalms, chapter 140, verse 1. Deliver me, O Lord, from the evil man. Who's the evil man? That will be your biblical Edomites. Okay, that is the evil man. Okay. The man the man who speaks villainy in his mind. Deliver me, O Yahweh, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man. And these Edomites, they're all about violence. Okay? You know, these Edomites are all about violence. Let's go to the book of Habakkuk. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4. Okay? Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. You see that? So the spirit within these Edomites are not upright. Okay. The spirit in these Edomites are not
America.
upright.
I
Okay. The spirit within these Edomites are not upright. And that's why they do the wickedness that they do. Okay. Yea. Okay. Let's read Habakkuk 2 and 5. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as deaf, and cannot be satisfied. Okay, so this man is as deaf, and he cannot be satisfied. But gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Okay, so this is, so when we read this biblical verse, deliver me from the evil man. The evil man is Esau, Edom, man. Okay, and I know they're saying 13-year-old children, but that's a lie. Okay, we know that Esau is popping. We know that these we know that there are grown ass so-called white men that are having sex with 8-year-old and 9-year-old children, because according to the Holy Scriptures, a 13-year-old is not considered a kid. Okay, when you hit puberty, the moment you hit puberty, okay, and you're able to have children, you're no longer considered a child. Okay, so a child will be someone who is like, you know, from the ages of from the ages of 5 years old going to the age of 10 to even 12 years old. Okay, so we're dealing with a bunch of sickos that are ruling on this planet. Okay, and yes, according to the Holy Scriptures, a male and a female becomes a young adult, and I say a young adult, after they hit puberty, which is usually between the ages of 13 to 14 years old. So, like it tells you in the book of Job 9, verse 24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Okay, and indeed, the wicked, which the self-proclaimed white man, is ruling the earth. Okay, he's ruling the earth, and the Edomites, which starts with the so-called elites who call themselves Rothschilds or Rockefellers, trickling down to the rest of their nation, the people have control over the whole face of the earth. With that, I'm gonna say Shalom is on to the next one.